Vou só pegando esses negócios pra ver se eu consigo fazer comida. Aqui ao redor de Arcádia, se eu não me engano, não tem nada guardado. Porra, um anabol. Beleza, chegamos. Partiu.45.
And we've arrived. Arcadia's already been watching us for a good spell. If you want to talk with them, just go inside. They'll be waiting for you. You need my help again, you come see me. Got a cabin just outside of Far Harbor. Good place to tool up your gear, get some rest, or get stinking drunk. Just make sure if you're bringing a bottle of something strong, there's enough to share.
Leaving already? Don't you want to see what happens next?
You saying you want me to stick around and watch your back?
Maybe later, Longfellow.
All right. But I'm serious about the offer. You ever want to hunt the forests and waters of the island together, I could think of worse things to do. Keep saying to myself I should settle down someday. Think I missed the boat on that one.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Is something wrong?
Well, I sort of had the same question. It's just, with everything that's happened with you and your family, it's a whole hell of a lot to process. I wanted to make sure you're holding up all right.
Why do you ask?
I just had a hard go with the, transition myself. Took me a long damn time to get a feel for this place. Thank goodness I found Diamond City. It's got its flaws, sure, but it beats the hell out of anywhere else in the Commonwealth. Of course, when I took up there back when, people were just as scared of the Institute as they are now. Maybe more. The massacre of the CPG was still pretty fresh in people's minds at that point, and folks were still losing sleep over the broken mask. Plenty of people assumed I was just a saboteur, moving in to melt down the reactor or poison the drinking water. But at the time, they couldn't exactly turn me away.
Broken mask?
This was long before I'd moved to town, but apparently some gentleman type shows up in Diamond City, heads down to Power Noodles. Guess he didn't like the food because he pulled his pistol and opened fire on the folks enjoying theirs. When security finally put enough holes in him to drop him, they say he was full of servos and sprockets, just like yours truly. Seems he malfunctioned, went berserk. It was the first time people realized that synths had stopped looking like me and started looking like them. Considering what these folks went through, I felt real lucky they let me in the front gate at all.
Massacre of the CPG. What's that?
The Commonwealth Provisional Government. Years back, a group of settlements tried to get together and form a coalition. Every settlement with even a hint of clout sent representatives to try and hash out an agreement. Only the Institute sent a representative of their own, a synth. The man killed every rep at the talks. The Commonwealth Provisional Government was over before it even got off the ground. I took up in town not long after. I was damn lucky they didn't just tell me to scram right then and there.
Why'd they let you in?
Because I'd rescued the mayor's daughter. Gal of about 15. Pride and joy of the mayor back then. Man by the name of Henry Roberts. The young Miss Roberts decided she'd run off with some caravan hand she'd, known for an evening. Turns out the guy was part of a gang of kidnappers. I didn't even know who I was rescuing, just stumbled on a crying girl and 4 toughs. I took her home and the mayor dubbed me a hero, offered me a place in town. Lots of folks protested, said I was a spy, but he wouldn't have it. Taking up in the city was tricky at first, but I never tried to hide what I was, and people seemed to warm to that.
You took down 4 guys by yourself?
Well, I didn't have to. Back then, synths were even more of an unknown quantity than they are today. I told them I was rigged to explode and started going beep, beep, beep. Hardest part of that rescue was keeping from laughing as they climbed over each other to get away.
Was it hard, settling in?
Yeah, they sure didn't make it easy. I started off doing the jobs no one else wanted. I got more banged up being Diamond City's handyman than I ever did living out in the ruins. But I guess folks never forgot I rescued the mayor's daughter, so they started coming to me when people went missing. Wife runs off with a new paramour and takes the rent money with her. Talk to the synth. An upset father decides moving him and the kids to Good Neighbor in the dead of night's not the worst damn idea since the bomb. Go get Nick. After a while, the jobs got so backed up, they didn't even ask me to do the handyman stuff anymore. Hell, I was so happy to do it, it was months before I started charging anyone. I never stopped being Nick the Synth, but it was Nick the Detective folks came to see. It was about then that things finally started feeling normal. It took me a long time to realize that home is where you make it. And with some time and effort, this place can be home for you, too. That's a long story, but I hope it helps. Want to get moving?
Eu falei que eu não ia fazer nada dos companions e acabei mostrando toda a história do Nick, né? Mas relaxa, não vou fazer a história do Nick não, porque a história do Nick envolve a quest, uma quest secundária oculta e não tenho saco pra isso. Que é de pegar umas fitas espalhadas por aí de um caso perdido pelo verdadeiro Nick Valentine. Bora lá.
You know, when I first climbed this mountain above the fog, I thought to myself, now here is a metaphor worth taking in. You've entered a place of clarity, understanding, peace. While you're here in Arcádia, Synthkind welcomes you as long as you welcome us.
What are you?
I told you. I'm the old synth on the mountain. I know the plastic skin and tubes out the back can be unsettling, but I want to ask you to look past that. Tell me why you're here and I'll try to help you.
I came here looking for Kasumi Nakano.
Really? I'm impressed. Few would brave the kind of journey you've had for the sake of someone else. Kasumi is here. She's safe and unharmed, and you're free to see her if you'd like. Before you do, though, tell me, do you think Kasumi is a synth?
We're not answering any more questions until you play straight with us. Just who the hell are you, really? There's only one synth with that kind of face and a mind of his own. And I only see him when I look in a mirror.
Nick? It can't be you.
Don't give me that. What are you trying to pull? I've never seen you before in my life.
Please, if you're willing to give me a chance, I can explain.
Is this a joke? Do you really know, Nick?
Let me tell you what I know, and you can judge for yourself. We were prototypes, Nick. The first synths capable of independent thinking and judgment.
Keep talking.
One of the Institute's experiments had to do with how our brains could process personality. If we could handle individualized feelings and behaviors, I was allowed to develop mine based on experience. But with you, they wanted to try transferring an entire personality into you. It took several attempts before the personality imprint worked. I saw you wake up not knowing who or what you were so many times. I couldn't let them do it to you anymore. We were the only two prototypes they made. I literally saw myself in you. You were my brother, Nick. I helped you escape the Institute. We left together.
If I were your brother, I'd remember.
That's where you'd be wrong. This happened over a century ago. There's only so much memory that can fit into the prototype brains we have.
Ah, I've heard enough. I think you and I need to talk about this. Maybe not now, though.
Nick, is he really your brother?
If he is, it's news to me. Can synths even be related? Just because we're from the same assembly line, does that make us family? I gotta think about this.
We'll talk later. This is a lot to take in.
Nick, I don't need you to believe me. I'm just glad to see you again. Whenever you're ready, I'll be here. Now, about young Kasumi. It's important that you understand exactly why she's here. I asked you before if you think she's really a synth. If you could indulge me with an answer.
Why are you asking?
Because she came here with that very question. And the answer changes every part of her world. None of us take this transition lightly. She's facing the possibility of her entire life being a lie. That someone stripped her very identity from her and made her into something she isn't. I want you to understand that before you see her. She has a chance here to live as a synth, not hiding, not pretending to be something else. One more question, if you'll indulge me. You're here for Kasumi, but I suspect there could be another reason you came to us. Tell me, are you a synth?
How would I even know?
I'm afraid if you're looking for some biological test we can do, there isn't any. None that aren't fatal. Instead, you have to look for the signs. Holes in someone's memory. Feelings of unexplained isolation. Odd dreams. But ultimately, you have to decide for yourself. What do you believe? Have you ever questioned your humanity?
I'm a human being, not a synth.
Are you sure? I don't mean to question you, but what's the first memory you have?
I'm not gonna tell my life story to someone I barely know. Let's hear your answer first.
I was in a laboratory. In the Institute. They were pulling pieces of my head out. Something about wanting to test some neural process. That was every day for months. Strapped down. Operated on. And then I was out. The Institute has fail-safes to strip memories that could identify where they are, how to find them. But I do remember being quite content. I was free. That is my earliest memory. Now, yours?
I was with my husband. We were getting ready for the day. I had to take care of my son, Sean. And well, a lot's happened since then.
But no memories before then? No childhood? Your first best friend? Your first kiss? That's usually a sign. Data is easy to migrate, but feelings, that's a hard thing to transfer into another mind. Isn't it funny how a memory can feel like a whole different reality? People, places, even sounds and colors can change. Or someone else has changed them. I won't lie to you. There will always be other explanations. Trauma, disease, the background radiation. They all take their toll on the mind. But I can promise you that you will be accepted here. Whatever you decide is true for yourself.
I've heard enough. Where is Kasumi Nakano?
Of course. Kasumi is usually working down below. You can see her whenever you like. Arcadia is open to you. Feel free to walk the grounds. Introduce yourself to my co-founders, Faraday and Chase. Did you need anything else before you go?
I should get going.
Of course.
Perhaps we're in there a long time. Are you feeling all right?
I'm fine. You worry too much.
Sometimes I feel like you don't worry enough.
No caso eu não falei que eu tô com o Instituto, com a Ferrovia ou com a Irmandade, porque eu de verdade não tô com nenhum dos três. Então, vamos seguir aqui com mais blá blá blá. O Faraday não tá aqui. Só pra constar, eu já devo ter postado um vídeo, ou não, ou eu vou postar ainda. É que eu não sei quando que esse vídeo aqui vai pro ar, tá? Falando sobre a possibilidade do nosso personagem ser um sintético. O porquê que ele pode ser um sintético. E o porquê que ele não pode ser. Tem evidência das duas coisas. Por gameplay, certeza que ele não é, porque ele toma dano de radiação. Sintético não tem esse problema. Por questão de história, fica uma incógnita, tá? O questionamento dele, algumas falas que eu vou mostrar depois, deixa essa incógnita. Então vamos seguir com a quest. Cadê a escada que desce? Depois eu converso com o pessoal aqui. Vamos falar com a Kasumi. Ela tá no último piso, se eu não me engano. Kasumi, ela fica aqui. Deixa eu esperar o Nick chegar. Nick, seu merda! Nick. Filha da... eu me assustei. Vamos lá.
Kasumi Nakano?
Sorry, I'm right in the middle of something.
What's that you're working on?
Just trying to cobble some pre-war junk into something usable. Now, do you mind telling me what you're doing here?
I'm a detective. I was hired to find you.
You're a what? You came all this way... for me?
You left without telling your folks why. You must have known they'd be worried.
Look, my mom and dad... I mean, those people that were taking care of me, they wouldn't want me back. Not if they knew the truth.
What do you mean?
I'm not their daughter. I'm a synth. I thought if I just left, it would be easier for them. How would that conversation have gone anyway? I've been lying to you this whole time? Your real daughter is dead and I replaced her?
Kasumi, I think you're just confused. Everyone has doubts about who they are sometimes. That's part of life.
I really wish that was true. If I wasn't a synth, things would be so much simpler. Arcadia isn't what I thought it was. There's more going on here than just the refuge. But I can't leave until I've gotten to the bottom of it. I've been running long enough.
What kind of problem is there in Arcadia?
It's a long story. I just have to figure out how to... Wait, you find things, track down answers. That's what you do, right? That's why you came after me. What if I told you that there's a secret? A big secret here, on this island. Something way more important than just one lost girl.
What are you talking about?
Where to begin? You saw all those computers that Dima's hooked up to, right? They hold his memories, or offload data from his brain. Or maybe some combination of both? Well, Faraday asked me to help do some repairs on them, and, you know, I got curious. There's like a century's worth of life experiences in there. And that's when I see it. Data models Dima has been making. One was the fog taking over Far Harbor. Another was a nuclear detonation on the island. Plus, death counts. What if Dima is so open and welcoming because he's actually hiding something from us? A plan to wipe out the rest of the island.
We should get to the bottom of this. If Dima is putting on an act, we need to know.
You don't trust Dima? After you came all this way for him?
I didn't come to Arcadia for him. I came here because this place offered answers. And now that I found a place I belong, I'd rather not lose it all if Dima is secretly planning to destroy everything.
I'll help if I can, but that's not much to go on.
I know. I've been working on that, but I haven't had much luck. I keep seeing Dima, Faraday, and Chase head into the laboratory at the other end of the hall. Then they come out later looking like they've been arguing. There's actually a storage space right next to there. It'd be a perfect spot to hide and eavesdrop, but it's been locked up. I've also tried breaking into Faraday's terminal, since he and Dima are so close, but the security on it is crazy.
Eavesdropping on the next meeting sounds like our best bet. I'll see if I can find a way inside that room.
Okay. Good luck, and come back as soon as you found anything.
From one case to a new one. It's never easy for us, is it?
I swear someone has the key to that.
E ela não é sintética, tá? Se eu conseguisse salvar aqui e dar um tiro nela, você vê que não tem componente sintético. Só um instantinho.